The 11-2 Oklahoma State Cowboys are coming to the Fiesta Bowl to play the 11-1 Notre Dame Fighting Irish. If you look at Notre Dame, they're a 2.5-point favorite in the Fiesta Bowl in this game. And coach, Kyle Hamilton, the great safety, Kyron Williams, the great running back for Notre Dame, are opting out of this game. What are your thoughts about these boys opting out?
I think it's stupid. I think it's ridiculous. I don't think that's the way you do things at Notre Dame. Yes, Williams has rushed for approximately 1,000 yards. He's a great running back. But you don't do that, Mark. You don't do that to your team. You're playing for Notre Dame. You're not playing for yourself. And I'll tell you something else, Mark. I do not think you should be able to hire an assistant coach as long as they have a game remaining on their schedule. Oklahoma State's strength of this football team, as we said all years, their defense, Mark. They played outstanding. Their defense coordinator is going to Ohio State as defense coordinator. So the one strength they have is a big question mark right now. But let's look at Notre Dame. The head coach has gone to LSU, but I really am impressed with Marcus Freeman. I visited with him. I love his attitude. He's kept his entire staff there. They're loyal to Notre Dame. They'll play very, very well. And you look at Cone. He's thrown for 2,600 yards, 20 touchdowns, only 6 interceptions. Not having Williams is fine because they have some other people that run probably a little bit faster than he does anyway. And receiver, you have Austin, you have Mayer. They have an awful lot of talent. They won their last 5 games, Notre Dame did, by big scores. Now, you look at Oklahoma State. They lost their defense coordinators, I mentioned, but that's the strength of their football team. When you look at them, I don't care how you twist it or turn it, they have been great on defense. On offense, not so much. Against Baylor in the championship game, Mark, do you realize this? In the latter half of that game, 6 times they had 1 yard to go for a touchdown and did not make it any of the 6 times. They don't have the toughness to win in this football game. I believe that Notre Dame prevails this football game 34-24, strictly because the defensive coordinator said to Ohio State. Now, I got to tell you this, Ohio State certainly needs him, but will be a much improved football team next year.
Well, Jim Knowles is that defensive coordinator, and he was a Burroughs Award finalist, and I had him down there. And, Coach, I had him at the banquet, and by the time I got to the airport, he left and went to Ohio State within the middle of 20 minutes. It was unbelievable. I'm sitting at the airport reading it. He already left. It's like he didn't mention it to anybody. He was at Oklahoma State for the Burroughs finalists.
Well, that's what's wrong. You hire a coach, you shouldn't be able to hire him as long as that other team has 1 game remaining, because it's totally unfair to the Oklahoma State players that lost the heartbreaker to Baylor, even though they had 6 attempts inside the 1 yard line. But let them go out with some pride and dignity. But that's the problem with our society, Mark. They ask me, what's the difference between athletes today and 50 years ago? Today, everybody wants to talk about their rights and their privileges. 50 years ago, people talked about their obligations and their responsibilities. That's what made this country great, and that's what's hurting the country. It's all about me, not what are my obligations, what are my responsibilities. I feel very strongly about this, Mark.
Good point. But in this game for Oklahoma State, I think they're going to run the ball with Jaylen Warren. He's done a terrific job, over 1,100 yards rushing this game. But, I like Marcus Freeman, what he was able to do when he came in. He kept just about the entire recruiting class that Notre Dame had. And I thought that was very impressive for him to be able to do that. Looking at this game and breaking it down, Notre Dame, they're getting back their left tackle, Blake Fisher, that got hurt in the first game against Florida State this season. So I think that's going to help their offensive line where they had some issues this year. He's been able to practice, so he should play in this game. I'm leaning towards Notre Dame in this game, 2.5-point favorite. I don't think Oklahoma State can score enough points on Notre Dame's defense. I think Notre Dame wins this game. It's not going to be a big, high-scoring game, but Notre Dame will eke out a victory 28-21.
And it would be one of the first victories we've had over a top 20 team in 12 years since Brian Kelly arrived.
Top 10 team, number 9th is Oklahoma State. That's even bigger.
It is bigger. I couldn't help but get in that little dig.
I know.